My name is Kristen Hayashi. I'm the Director of Collections Management and Access and Curator at the Japanese American National Museum. Our exhibition, Common Ground, is comprised of hundreds of artifacts, photographs, and ephemera that tell the Japanese American experience. Like so many museums, JANM is only able to display a tiny portion of its collection. And for the past 30 years, collection staff and curatorial staff at JANM has continued to amass the permanent collection of the museum. Just a few steps from the Common Ground exhibition, literally at the heart or center of the museum, is where we house the vast majority of the permanent collection, which chronicles the Japanese American experience. Constructed in 1999, the storage facility at the Japanese American National Museum is 2 floors totaling 7,200 square feet, and it houses the largest collection of Japanese American material culture and archives in the world. We don't know exactly how many artifacts we have, but we estimate that it's well over 150,000. This spans from, renowned artwork by some of the most notable Japanese American artists to the papers of really notable figures. But I think what's so incredible about JANM's collection are the seemingly mundane objects of ordinary individuals with these really incredible stories to tell. The collection is full of family treasures that speak of hardship and success, loss and triumph, as well as challenge and resilience. So I think one of the reasons why I chose my profession to be a historian is partly because I was really curious about my own family history and where I come from. Growing up, my grandparents would tell a few stories about their World War II experience, but I think at the time I was too young to really, ask the types of questions that I've thought of over the years and really wanted to investigate further. But my grandma would sort of talk about her camp experience as, it was this fun time in her life, and she would talk about the social events and the dances and the time with friends, and that was how I sort of perceived this experience during World War II for a really long time. And more recently, I've had a chance to look at my family's collection here at the museum, and it's told me, I think, a different narrative or story about my family history that's really made me think differently about their experience. So the Kondo Family collection contains photographs, of my grandma and her siblings when they were young, but it also includes letters between my great-grandfather, who was at Gila, and my great-uncle, his son, Henry, who was first at Camp Shelby for basic training and then sent overseas to fight in the European theater. And it's through these letters between these two men that I never met that allowed me to learn so much more about my family. They talk about their daily lives, both in Gila and at Camp Shelby. And while it's sort of chronicling their everyday experience, if you read between the lines, I think you really understand just the heartbreak of being separated for the first time in their lives. There's a lot of talk about, not to worry, I will be fine, I'm fighting for my country. April 20th, 1944. Well, Dad, I guess the time has come to say goodbye for a while. Don't ever worry about me, because I'm sure that the training we've had will always protect us. Knowing that you and Mother and the rest of the family are waiting for me will make me all the more want to return safely. It's just really heartbreaking to read those letters and then to ultimately know that my great-uncle Henry was killed in action in the Battle of Briere in 1944, and the family wasn't reunited. So these letters chronicle that experience, and I think have filled in a lot of the gaps, in my understanding of this history. And it's something that, my grandmother never talked about. She never talked about losing her brother in the war. And so I'm just so grateful that my great aunt had this foresight to donate this collection to the museum. JANM is a very active collecting institution, and we're constantly getting offers of artifacts for the collection. Our strength really, I think, is the World War II experience, and so a lot of the donation offers that we receive pertain to that experience. And I think that with each new collection that comes in, we gain new perspective. An example that comes to mind is the Sakamoto-Sasano Collection. This collection came in not too long ago, and I think what I was really struck by when I saw the items in the collection is that they really tell the story from the perspective of two generations of women in this family. The collection is pretty extensive. It includes ephemera that was made at Santa Anita and Anamachi, social event invitations and programs from different graduation ceremonies, a hand-drawn map created by Louise Sasano. And I think what's so interesting about Louise's map is the way that she combines the familiar, the things that she misses from home, with her present situation at Amachi, and it really forms her perspective. And just like Louise's perspective, her older sister Frances also provides a similar understanding of her situation through an essay that she wrote at Amachi High School. And in this essay, she gives a very real sentiment of what it was like to be incarcerated and to have her civil rights and liberties taken away. So in this essay, she writes, "The night sky is so beautiful. Back home, the lights of the city dimmed all of the natural beauty of the skylights. It makes me feel good to look at them. When I look up and see all the beauty there is in this world, I almost forget the ugliness that signifies confinement, fences, searchlights, drab barracks, etc. I'll not look at those ugly things. I'll think of beautiful things. It won't always be like this. The war will end someday, and perhaps there won't be any more wars. We'll have a chance. All of us. The destiny of America is in our hands too. I wonder if there can be a world, or even an America, without inequality of races." Although these two collections really illustrate a moment in time from the past, I think they have so much relevance to today. And so that's why JANM is committed to preserving and sharing these stories for future generations.